Hey YouTube, Catman Awesome 9 here with a late upload because I just woke up from a nap and did my homework, so I figured I'd do this real quick. I built a dark deck, just kind of darks, with Destiny Draw Engine, and it's not a competitive deck, I don't think, but it's kind of fun to play, and it's got some neat plays, so I figured I could go over that real quick for my video for today. And the extra deck is really small because I don't have a lot of cards for it, so trying to keep it all dark, and I have to find some more stuff. But alright, starts off, we have our Destiny Draw Engine, so our monsters. So we have Doomlord, 2 Malicious, and 2 Dasher. Then we have our level 6 Tribute monsters, because I am running kind of like a Monarch style deck. So we have 1 Jinzo. I run 1 Delg just because he's a dark, and he is a dark Monarch, so that works for me. A lot of people don't like him because he can't attack when he's summoned, but because it's easy for me to special summon him with like Dasher and then drop him to the field and then tribute him for a Caius, it's pretty awesome because that means I banish 3 cards off my opponent and then mill 2 cards off their deck, so that could be pretty devastating. I run 3 Caius because he's Caius and he's awesome and he banishes. 2 Breakers because it's a really good dark monster. That's about it. Pops back row, 1900 attack when you summon him, pretty awesome. 2 Dark Greffers, because this helps me get my dark monsters to my graveyard for my dark counterparts. And he also is a 1700 attacker, so that's not bad, and it's not bad. He's not too hard to special summon. 1 Tsukiyomi for like a Book of Moon, because I don't run Book of Moon in this deck. 1 Sangan, because it searches out Tsukiyomi, and if I need it to, it can search out like Malicious so that I can use D-Draw. 1 Zephyrus for Sync and Exceeds plays if I ever get some Dark Exceeds. 1 Plague Spreader for Synchro. He's my only tuner, but he's got a lot of variation in this deck because there's a bunch of ways I can get him to the field and make a bunch of Synchros. 2 Battle Faders for attack negation and gives me a target to sack for any of my level 6s. 2 Trags, again, drops the field after I take damage, so I don't have to worry, and then gives me something to sack if I have to. Gores, because it's Gores. I run 2 Dark Creators, because this card is really good. If you control no cards, so this thing is like a comeback card, essentially, in my deck, so if I get Dark Hold, drop Dark Creator next turn, and then I can special summon one of my monsters out of my grave, so that's pretty awesome. 1 Dark Armed, because he's pretty much your standard dark boss monster, and he's really easy to get out because there's a lot of graveyard manipulation in this deck. And finally, Rainbow Dark Dragon for that quick punch to the face to end it. He can only be special summoned by banishing 7 dark monsters with different names from your graveyard, and that's where Dark Greffer comes in handy and dumps a lot of those to my grave. And all I have to do, if I get 10 in my grave and 7 of them have different names, I can drop him and Dark Arm to the field in the same turn, blow up all your stuff, and hit you for 6,800. So that's the power Rainbow Dark Dragon. I really like it. Staples, Heavy Storm, Mind Control, Monster Reborn. Mind Control is not a super staple, but it is very useful in this deck. Onto the draw engine, we have 3 Destiny Draw. 3 Upstart Goblin, because it helps with consistency. 2 Pot of Duality, because it helps me get the stuff that I need. 1 Pot of Avarice, and a Lure of Darkness. For the extra deck, we're running 2 Thought Rulers, Infernity Doom Dragon, Dark End Dragon, Allied Justice Catastor, and this is just a token. So I don't have any Exceeds in there at the moment, but if I do get my hands on some rank 4 Dark Exceeds, I'll probably run those. Or if I can figure out if I have any, I don't think I do. But as you saw, a lot of the spells were draw engine. 10 out of my 13 spells are just draw engine. Because consistency is very important. And I can't stress that enough, because I've built a lot of decks that were good just because they were like, you know, oh, right now, like, oh, if I draw good, they'll do this. If I draw good, but I didn't have any sort of a draw engine, so it kind of would throw that off, so it didn't even really matter because I couldn't get things I needed when I needed them anyway. So, I found that a lot of decks, if you just include a really good draw engine, you don't really even have to worry about it. Your deck will just be consistent. So, drawbacks to this deck, since it's all dark, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Another one that could really kill this deck could probably be DD Crow, Macrocosmos. Maybe not DD Crow as much, but Macrocosmos. And trying to think what the other one is. Because I don't run any Exceeds, and all my monsters that I really bring to the field are high level, Gravity Bind, I guess. If people run Gravity Bind, that can slow me down too. Overall, it's just a fun deck to play. I solitaired it a few times, and it gets some pretty cool combos out, because sometimes, like, if you get Grepher out and you don't have a D-draw, but you have one of your 5 D-draw targets in hand, you can send, like if you draw Mally and Grepher, you can discard Mally to special summon Grepher, discard another Dark out of your hand, and send a Plague Spreader and make a first turn level 8. So, some pretty cool combos. Zephrys, I like in this deck because what I like to do with him is if I get Grepher and Caius out, I will bounce Caius. I'll use Grepher's effect to put Zephrys in the grave, and I'll bounce Caius, special summon Zephrys, and then sack Zephrys for Caius, and then banish again. So that's a way that you can recycle Caius, essentially, to get more banishes, and that can throw your opponent off quite a bit, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, wait, why did you just bounce your Caius for, he's going to go into an Exceed, and they're going to be like, drop Max C, so I get to draw one, and then you're going to Exceed him, and I get to draw another, and then you sack for Caius, and they go, wait, what? And you banish their monster. Then you drop Dark Arm and pop that back row, and then you just kill them. Pretty impressive fields this deck can bring up, and I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.